Hi everybody and welcome to this new course. My name is Alex and today I would like to build with you together a voice assistant using Python. Okay, so the name of the assistant is Alina and now I would like to show you a few features. Let's go.
Hi, I am here to support you. Can you please tell me your name?
Alex.
Hi Alex, what can I do for you?
Tell me, why do you exist?
I was created to work for you. I don't need a break and I will never ask for days off.
Okay, tell me, when do you sleep?
I never sleep. I was created to support you 24 hours.
Can you tell me something about the Bitcoin price?
The current price for a Bitcoin is $62,186.
Do you also have information about the Tesla stock?
At this moment you can purchase one Tesla share for $1,222.09.
Can you translate something for me?
Sure. What do you need me to translate?
I live in Hamburg. It is a beautiful city in Germany.
Ich wohne in Hamburg. Es ist eine wunderschöne Stadt in Deutschland.
At this moment I record a video.
In diesem Moment zeichne ich ein Video auf.
Turn off translator.
The translator will be turned off. What else can I do for you?
Can you tell me something about the weather in a city?
No problem. I will look it up for you. What city are you interested in?
Hamburg.
The temperature in Hamburg is 9.4 degrees and you can see light rain.
And now I need to know something about the distance between two cities.
Sure. Let me know the starting point.
Hamburg.
All right. And now tell me the final destination.
Hanover.
Give me one moment. I will use my smart brain to calculate the distance for you. The distance between Hamburg and Hanover is 157.5 kilometers.
Blah blah blah.
Excuse me, I did not get that. Can you please repeat it?
Stop.
It was a pleasure to help you. I wish you a wonderful day.
Okay, so this should be just a short demonstration of a few features which you can expect in this course. In the next section you can actually see the whole curriculum. Okay, I hope you find this useful. I wish you all the best and I will be actually very happy if you join this course. Stay safe and I see you in the next section. Bye bye. Hi everybody and welcome to this course. First of all, thank you very much for joining this tutorial and for your trust. So we will build together the interactive voice assistant. Its name is Alina and Alina is actually able to do a lot of different features. Okay, so first we want to initialize the voice assistant. That means this assistant should be able to listen to us, to talk to us, and especially get back to us with a proper reply based on a specific question from our side. Okay, we will make Alina be able to do small talk with us. We want to ask for cryptocurrency information. We want to get info about different stock prices. Also, we want to make use of the Wolfram Alpha API. You will see this API is actually very powerful and you are able to ask almost everything here. Okay, then we will build a translator. That means we will choose two different languages and ask Alina to translate something for us. Also, we want to have a funny part here. We will make use of the Norris API. Then we also have the NewsAPI. That means we can ask for the top news and Alina will get back to us. We also want to ask the current weather information about a specific city. We want to have calculated the distance between two cities. For example, we want to ask our assistant to calculate the distance between Hamburg and Berlin. And with the use of a specific API, Alina will get back to us with the proper answer. Then we also want to make Alina look something up for us on Wikipedia and get back to us. And finally, we also need to make use of the datetime module. In this example, we want to ask for the current time and for the current weekday. Okay, so this should be just a short overview of what you guys can expect from this course. I hope you will like it, and I see you in the next section. Hi everybody, and welcome to part number 1 of the voice assistant tutorial. So as you can see here, I've already opened the Jupyter Notebook, but before we start, we have to do a few basic things. That means we have to go ahead and import 3 different libraries. We can do it easily by opening the command prompt or the CMD. Okay, and here I will just go ahead and import the first package. The name is speech recognition. Okay, this is actually number 1. Pip install speech recognition, and you can see here that this package is already installed on my device. The next one is Google text to speech. So type in pip install GTTS, click on enter, and GTTS is actually the abbreviation for Google text to speech. Next one is pip install play sound, click on enter, and again I've already installed it before on my device, but now we should be good to go. Okay, minimize this command prompt, and now we can just go ahead and open our first notebook. So go to new, click on Python 3, and now you can see here that inside a different tab, this notebook is actually opening, and here we can rename it. So the name of the notebook will be voice assistant _ Alina, and Alina is just the name of the assistant itself. If you wish, of course, you can choose another name, but now in this tutorial we will go with Alina. So click on rename, and now we can start. So actually I've decided to split up this notebook in 4 different sections. The first one is the import section. Okay. The second one is the voice assistant coding section. So let me just type it here. Voice assistant coding section. This is number 2. Okay. Then number 3 is the voice assistant execution section. Voice assistant execution section. And the last one is the example and preparation section, because here we will use the section for demonstration purposes. That means once we include a new feature, before we start actually the real coding part, we can take a look how this looks actually inside the example and preparation section itself. Okay, so in my opinion, this structure makes more sense, and this is why I've chosen to create the notebook in this structure. So first of all, we start with the imports here. That means we need to import all the libraries which we have installed a few moments ago. First one is the speech recognition module. So go ahead and type in import speech _ recognition as SR, and SR is actually the abbreviation for speech recognition. It's just a common convention. So every time you make use of the speech recognition module, you don't have to type in this long name, can just refer to this abbreviation here. Okay, so this is the logic. Number 2 is Google text to speech. That means from GTTS import GTTS. Okay, number 2. And the last one, or the next one, is import play sound. So we need these three libraries to initialize our bot. Oh, sorry, not bot. In this case, it's a voice assistant. It's actually not a bot. So I will run this cell here. No error messages. This looks actually fine. And now let's go ahead and actually give our assistant a real, let's say, a real life. Okay. So what we need to do here is we have to create three different functions. Okay. So first of all, we have the listen function, we have the talk function, and we have the reply function. So let's start here. So first of all, we have the listen function. Okay. Alina listen, and again, Alina is the name of our assistant here. So Alina listen, and to create a function, of course, we have to write a def here in the beginning. Okay, so def Alina listen. And before I start, actually it will make more sense to write down a comment. Okay, so here we have to convert speech to text, so we can use the text for the next step. Now please be with me. This will make all sense in a few moments for you. Okay, so first of all, we have the listen function. Here what we need to do is we need to create a recognizer. Okay, and this will actually be achieved with the speech recognition function. Okay, so R is our next variable. R equals to SR dot recognizer, and again SR is the abbreviation for speech recognition here. Okay, so here we have to create our recognizer. Then in the next step, so first we start with the comment again. What we speak into the microphone should be our source. Okay, so we have to specify a source, and the source will be the microphone. Okay, that means let's make use of this with statement with sr dot microphone as source, and now we need the listen function so the recognizer can catch the source. That means what we speak to the microphone is actually the source itself. Okay, so use the listen function so the recognizer can catch the source, our mic. Okay, hope this makes sense. And now in the next step, what we need to do is we need to create an audio variable. Okay, and afterwards r.listen. Okay, and actually this one should listen to the source, that means to our microphone. Next, first of all, we have to create a text variable. Okay, in the very beginning, this text variable is just an empty string. And here in the next step, we need to use an API to convert the speech to text. Okay, and actually you will see here that we have a different kind of APIs we can use here. And in this example, we will go with the common Google API. That means we start here with try, then text equals to r.recognize, and you can see here that we have different kind of APIs, but we go, as I told you, we go with the Google API here. And now in this parameter we have to write down audio. Okay, this is actually the logic. And here in the next step we actually have a few exceptions, or a few exceptions can actually occur. And what we need to do inside the except block, we want to catch the exceptions, okay? So here the first one is sr.requestError. So sr.requestError SRE. Okay, and once we get this exception, we just want to print it out. Okay, so this is the logic. Next exception is the unknown value error. That means except sr dot, so one second, sr dot unknown value error as UVE for the abbreviation of unknown value error. And here we also want to print this out. So print UVE. And the last exception is the wait timeout error. Okay, so except sr dot wait timeout error SWTE. Okay, and once we get this exception, we also want to print this out. This is actually the whole logic. Now, in the next step, we want to get back the text in lowercase, okay? So we don't want to confuse the system, because sometimes we have uppercases, sometimes we have lower cases, and here we can actually standardize all this whole process. That means once we get back a text, this whole text will be actually received in lowercase, okay? And finally, we want to get back the text itself. Okay, so return text. And this is actually our first function here. This was actually number one. Afterwards, or actually in the second step, what we need to do is we need to create a talk function. That means our assistant should be able to convert the text to a speech. Okay, convert text to speech. That means we start writing down the second function, Alina underscore talk. Okay, and here inside this parameters we have to put down the text itself. Okay, Alina talk text. And now we need to create an audio data. So create audio data. This is number one. Okay, here we have to specify it with the file name. So file underscore name, let's say it's audio underscore data.mp3. Okay, next we have to convert this text to speech, okay, because it will refer to this audio file, and from this one it will create it to speech. Here in this example, we can use the Google text to speech package, which we have imported here. Okay, so let's go ahead and provide a variable. So TTS equals to GTTS, and inside this parameters we can specify text equals to text, comma, and the language here is English. So actually you have different kind of languages here you can use, but in this tutorial we will go ahead with the English language. Okay, afterwards we want to save the file. Okay, save the file. That means here in this example can use again the TTS dot save actually. And now I don't know, I don't get this suggestion here. So let me just take a look if I have messed up something. I don't know, so let's see. So TTS dot save. Here inside this brackets we can use the file name because this is what we actually want to save. Okay. After we save it, we want to play this file. That means play file. Okay. And here we use the play sound module, which we have imported here. Okay. So play sound dot play sound, and this is actually our file name which we want to play. Okay. And once this file was played, we want to remove it. So remove file, and here we actually need to import the OS, a package, okay, for the operating system. So let me just write it down, import OS. Let's run the cell again. Okay, this looks good. And here, to remove this file, I just can go ahead and write down os.remove. Okay, and here we want to remove this file name. So this is actually all this logic for this example. Now let me just run this cell here. Let's see what happens. We don't have an error message. This looks actually fine. And now in the next step, what we have to do is we need to create a reply function. And before we actually create this reply function, we can make use of our example and preparation section, and let's see how this Alina talk function actually works. Okay, so let's go ahead and make use of it. So Alina talk, and as you can remember, here we have to provide a text. Okay, so let's go ahead and write something down. Let's say, hi, my name is Alex and I am happy to be here. Let's see what happens here. Let's go and run the cell.
Hi, my name is Alex and I am happy to be here.
Okay, and I hope you got right now the logic. So with these lines here, we were able to make this assistant actually being alive right now. Okay, so, and this is actually why I've chosen to create this section here, so we can step by step go ahead and actually take a look on the different steps in our assistant creation. Okay, now I can just delete it because we don't need it here. And in the next step, as I told you, we have to create a reply function. So def Alina underscore reply. Okay, and here again we have to provide a text. So first of all, why is this function actually important? Because we want to create a function which will give us back a reply, but based on the input text. Okay, so we don't just want this assistant randomly talk about something. First of all, we want to provide a text, and based on this text, we want to get back a reply. Okay, so this is why we have to create this one. So let me just comment this. Create a function which will give us back a reply based on the input text. Okay, this is actually the logic here. And now, this is actually the functionality number one. I want to start actually with a small talk. Okay, so here, what we can do is the following. First, we can provide if what in text and name in text. We want Alina to be able, I don't want to execute it, sorry for that. So if what in text and name in text, Alina should actually reply to us. My name is Alina. So here actually in this example, we are asking this assistant, what is your name? Okay, and our keywords are what and name. Okay, and once the assistant finds out that we have mentioned these two names, okay, it will give us back a reply. So the reply here is my name is Alina and I am your personal assistant. Okay, that's it. So this is actually our first condition. And let's say this assistant doesn't get what we actually tell her. Okay, so else we want to get back a different reply. That means, excuse me, I did not get that. Can you please repeat it? Okay. So here, this is actually the alternative. That means if this assistant doesn't get what we want actually to ask, okay, we will get back this reply here, and Alina _ talk. Don't make the same mistake as actually I did. So go ahead and provide Alina talk, and now this sentence here. Okay, so this is actually it. And now let's say what we also can do is the following. Let's say we want this assistant to stop. Let's say if we say stop, then what this assistant should do is actually Alina _ talk, and she should tell us, it was a pleasure to help you. I wish you a wonderful day. Okay, here we actually, in our first example, we have 3 different examples. Okay, so if we ask her what is your name, she should give us back this reply here. If we say stop, we want to get back this reply, and if she doesn't hear the words what, name, or stop, we will get back this reply here. Okay, so this is actually our first example. Okay, here we are inside this voice assistant coding section, and now we need actually to execute this this assistant here. Okay, so let's go ahead and provide another function. So it's execute _bot. Okay, _bot. And now what we want to do here is we want to work with a while loop. So while true. Okay, now here we have another variable, listen _ Alina equals to Alina listen. Okay, because here, as you can remember, first of all, we want to get back one of these 3 replies based on something we said. Okay, and in order to be able to catch what we say, we need to save actually this in a separate variable. Okay, so this is our variable, listen _ Alina equals to this function, which we have actually created here. Okay, here the system should listen to our voice. This is actually the logic behind this line here. Okay, afterwards we want to get this printed out. That means listen Alina, or this variable here we want to print out. Okay, and afterwards in the next step we want to reply based on what we have said. So that means Alina _ reply. So let me just take a look here. Alina reply. Yep. And I guess I can actually run the cell first. Run this one. No error message. And now here, if you provide Alina, you get back one of these 3 examples. And in this case, we want to use the Alina _ reply function. Okay. And here we want to provide what we have actually told her. Okay, so this variable here. This is not too confusing. I hope it's not confusing. If it is, please let me know, and I will try to explain it to you in a different manner. So Alina, or listen Alina. Okay, so here actually in this line and in this line comes actually together what we have provided here. Okay, so let's take a look at this example. And before I run this code or this snippet, if we actually say stop in this line of code, what it does is here we just get back a simple reply. But we also want to break out of this while loop once we say this word here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. So if stop in listen Alina, okay, what we want to do is we just want to break out of this for loop. That's it. We don't just want to get back this reply, but we will have this reply and break out of this, sorry, not for loop, this is a while loop, okay, break out of this while loop here. And before I just run this snippet here, let me just go ahead and provide a simple comment. If we use the stop keyword, we want to end the while loop, okay, and assistant should say goodbye. Okay, this is actually the logic here. Okay, so this is actually it. And now we just need to call this function, and afterwards we can execute it. So just provide another comment, call function. And here I see that I've named it again as a bot, but actually it's not a bot, it's an assistant. So execute assistant, okay. And here it's just execute assistant. And now we can go ahead and run this cell here. What is your name?
My name is Alina and I am your personal assistant.
Hello, hello, hello.
Excuse me, I did not get that. Can you please repeat it?
Stop.
It was a pleasure to help you. I wish you a wonderful day.
Okay, so you see here that in the last step we actually broke out of this while loop, and here we have received what we expected based on these lines here. Okay, again, a short summary. First of all, the system has listened to our voice. Okay, afterwards our voice is converted to a text. Okay, and based on this text we get back a reply. Okay, so this is actually the key behind this line here and behind this line here. Okay, and here therefore we need to create these three different functions. Okay, I hope this was not too confusing. If you have any kind of questions, please let me know, and I'm very happy to see you in the next part, where we actually extend the small talk examples. Here we just had this first question of the small talk part, and in the next one we'll add 4 more topics. Okay, so thank you very much, and I see you in the next one. Hi everybody, and welcome to part 2 of the voice assistant tutorial. Now it's time to proceed with the small talk section. Actually, in the last video we have actually covered the first example. It was this first phrase here. What is your name? And now let's go ahead and provide 4 more examples for the small talk. Okay, so here let me just add this comment. Small talk, what is your name? Okay, now the next example will be again the small talk, but now we want to ask, why do you exist? Okay, so that means we need to provide again keywords. Okay, let's say if we say why, so if why appears in text and exist appears in text, we want to get back a certain reply. Okay, so afterwards our assistant will reply to us, I was created to support you or to work for you, I don't need a break and I will never ask for days off. Okay, this will be the reply if we ask our assistant why she exists. Okay, so and here actually I can't work with if, but this is else if or elif. Okay, now next example. First again comment small talk. And now we want to ask, when do you sleep? Okay, and once we ask, when do you sleep, we want to get back a certain answer. So, but first we need to provide the keywords. That means if or elif when in text, and sleep in text. We want to get back a reply. Okay, so Alina talk, and now she should say, I never sleep. I was created to support you 24 hours. Okay. Now, next question. This should be a little bit more funny. We want to ask her if she is stupid. So, are you stupid? And now actually what I want to do is I can copy and paste it, so I don't want to waste our time here. So hope you got this logic right now. So I've just copied the lines from my different screen, right? So, and here I've pasted. So elif you in text, okay, and stupid in text. We want to get back the following reply. No, I'm not stupid. My grandmother told me that there are no stupid persons out there. I try to give my best every day and learn continuously. Okay, this is the reply. And the last one, we want to ask our assistant what the favorite movie is. So let me also copy it from my other screen, paste it here. Okay, so if we provide favorite and movie in text, okay, if favorite in text or a movie in text, actually I should leave it like this. So favorite with this spelling and also with this spelling, okay? So here I have this U and here I don't have it. Okay, that means either it will understand my speech as a favorite with a U and without a U. Okay, I don't want to get a mistake just because of this difference of spelling. And this is why I provided both alternatives here. Okay, the next keyword is movie. Okay, and afterwards we want to get back the following reply. So my favorite movie is Titanic. I watch it with my friends all the time. Okay, so this is it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions. And I would say let's now interact a little bit with our assistant. But before we run it, we can make it a little bit more interesting, or let's say a little bit more interactive and more personalized. That means before we get a reply, the assistant will ask for our name. Okay, so personalize name. Okay, this is the comment. And now if we execute this function, first of all, the assistant should start talking to us. Okay, so let's provide, hi, I am here to support you. Can you please tell me your name? Okay, this is the first question. Now it's will be a little bit interesting. Now we need to provide another variable here. Let's say it's listen name. And now we make use of the Alina listen function. Okay, because now we will reply. Okay, we'll tell our name, and our name will be saved inside this variable here. All right. And now in the next step, again, our assistant should get back to us with hi. Okay. Then we want our assistant to tell our name. Okay. And then in the next step, she or the assistant should proceed with the question. Okay, what can I do for you? Okay, and now we will be redirected to the while loop, and we can then proceed with the questions. Okay, so again, once we run this cell here or this function, the assistant will ask for our name. Then we tell our name, make use of the Alina listen function, okay, which is this one. Our name gets stored inside this variable, and then our assistant will actually say hi and then our name and ask us what she can do for us, and then we will be inside this while loop here. Okay, I would say let's go ahead and try this out. So first let me run this cell. Okay, let's see, no error messages, this looks fine. And now let's cross our fingers and run this cell here and get back to these questions here. Okay, let's go ahead.
Hi, I am here to support you. Can you please tell me your name?
Alex.
Hi Alex, what can I do for you?
What is your name?
My name is Alina and I am your personal assistant.
Why do you exist?
I was created to work for you. I don't need a break and I will never ask for days off.
When do you sleep?
I never sleep. I was created to support you 24 hours.
Are you stupid?
No, I am not stupid. My grandmother told me that there are no stupid persons out there. I try to give my best every day and learn continuously.
What is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is Titanic. I watch it with my friends all the time.
Stop.
It was a pleasure to help you. I wish you a wonderful day.
Okay, so and this is the moment when we break out of our while loop. And I would say this was actually it for the small talk section. And if you have any kind of question, as always, please let me know. And I will try to go back to you as soon as possible. And in the next part of this tutorial, we are going to take a look how we can ask for the current price of cryptocurrencies. Okay, so this is the first time when we actually will work with, let's say, a financial API. Okay, and I would say, yeah, stay tuned and I see you in the next section. Hello everybody and welcome back to part number 3 of the voice assistant tutorial. Now it's time to work with the cryptocurrency API, and in this example we want to be able to ask for 3 different cryptocurrency prices. Okay, so here we want to go ahead and search for Coingecko API, okay, because we want to make use of this API here. Okay, now go ahead and click on View Plans. All right, and here, of course, we want to work with the free tier, and let me click on Get Started. Okay, this is it. Now I can just go down, click on this simple part here, okay, and directly on the first one here, and now I can click on Try It Out. And here in these 2 areas I need to provide information. Okay, here it's asking us what kind of cryptocurrencies we want to work with, and here we need to provide the currency itself. Okay, here this is very straightforward. We want to work with USD, with US dollars. Okay, and now if I scroll up, let me just click on coins, and here actually, or so 1 second, actually I want to have a simple overview. Yeah, it's here about all the coins here. For example, now we want to work with Bitcoin. I guess Bitcoin is the most popular one. Afterwards, I want to work with Litecoin. Okay, this is the second one we want to use, and the last one is the Solana coin. So let me just take a look where it is right now. So the Solana coin, or I can make it a little bit faster, Control F, and let's search for Solana. It's here, number 5. Okay, so this is the Solana coin, and actually it's up to you what coin you want to use here. But again, in this example, I want to search for Bitcoin, Solana, and for Litecoin. Okay, so let me go ahead to the API. Okay, it was this window here. And now what we need to provide here is the names of the coins. So the first one is Bitcoin, and then we need to separate them with a comma. Okay, like mentioned here, comma separated. So we have Bitcoin, we have Litecoin, and we have Solana. Again, currency is USD. And now let's click on execute. And now you can see here that we are able to work with this JSON file. And let's say, for example, you don't provide a comma here, but a semicolon here too. Let's see what happens now. Click on execute. And now your response body of this JSON file is just empty, and you don't have this information here. Okay, this is why you need to provide here a comma between the coins. This is it. So let's execute again. Okay, and you can see here this is our endpoint or our request URL we need to work with. I will just go ahead, copy this one, go back to our script, and now it's time again to make use of the example and preparation section here. Okay, so let me just provide one variable, crypto_API equals to this URL here. Don't forget to write them inside quotes. Okay, and now we actually want to request it. Okay, so in order to be able to request this URL, we need actually to import the requests library. Let's go ahead to the import section, or to the import part, and import requests. Okay, so in case you don't have this requests right now, again, you need to install it, I guess. So let me just take a look inside the cmd pip install requests. Let's see. Yep. Okay, so if this is not already done, open your command prompt and type in pip install requests, and then you can make use of the requests module. Okay, all right, so this is actually our URL. In the next step, what we want to do is we want to make a request. So it's request. So 1 second, why does it not work? Actually, I have already run the cell, didn't I? Okay, I think I didn't. Now, don't forget to run the cell after you import it. Okay, go back down, write it again, requests, now it's here, requests.get, okay, because now we want to make a GET request to this URL here. Okay, so it's crypto API, and this can be stored inside another variable. Let's say it's response equals to request.get, and now we want actually to print this out inside a JSON file. Okay, so crypto_JSON equals to response.json. Okay, and this is actually the logic. And now let's just print out the crypto JSON here. Okay, so let's run it. Let's see what happens. And this is actually what we want to see. Okay, so as you can remember, this is the exact same thing what we see here right now. And with this request URL, we are able to get the data inside our notebook. All right, so next one here, this is our let's say this is our raw data. And now if I want to go ahead and just get the price for the Bitcoin, I need to do something else, okay? I need to modify it a little bit. And what I want to do now is I want to refer to this JSON file, okay? JSON. And now in the next step, what we need to do is we need to make use of the Bitcoin key. Okay, that means here I need to provide Bitcoin. This is our first one. And the second one, once I got inside this Bitcoin part, I want to make use of the USD key in order to get back this value here. Okay, let me just show you. Now this is USD. And now if I run it, so let's see. Okay, this looks good. Here in the first line, I have this whole JSON raw data. Okay, and inside this cell here, I get back just the current price of the Bitcoin. Okay, this is it. Let's say you want to go ahead and replace Bitcoin with Solana. Let's go ahead and you can see here, you get the Solana price. Okay, and the same will apply to the Litecoin. So here in this example and preparation section, I want to show you the logic. And now we can go ahead and use it inside our voice assistant. So first of all, let's go ahead, copy this API information, scroll all the way up until the beginning. And here, let me just provide this information. Okay, cryptocurrency API. Okay, this is step number 1. And afterwards, in the next step, we need to go back to this part here. So as you can remember, we have started with small talk. Okay, and now the next requirement is to work with cryptocurrency information. So cryptocurrency, and now we want to ask for Bitcoin. All right. So that means here we need to provide another elif or else if. And let's say if we ask for Bitcoin, that means if the keyword Bitcoin appears in the text, okay, then we want to get back the information about the Bitcoin current price. Okay, this is it. And we can make our life a little bit simpler because here we actually started with the necessary information. Can just copy these lines here, copy that, scroll all the way up until here. And now on the next line, I need to just paste it here. Okay, this is actually the logic. Here we make our request, store it in the response variable, and then we want to get back a JSON file. Okay, now, as you can remember, here we have worked with the print statement here too, in order to get back the current price. Now we can just replace. So first, let me just copy this one, paste it here. Okay, and instead of print, we can just make use of the talk function, Alina talk. Okay, now it will not be just printed, or it will not be printed, but our assistant will tell us the price. Okay, and now if we want to, if it's required, we also can print it, and we can make the system tell us directly with her voice what the current price is. Okay, so this will be very clear in a few moments. So here we will get back the price, but we don't want to work with Solana in this case. We want to work with the Bitcoin price. Okay, and we don't want just to have a simple number. We want to make this more interactive. That means we want to provide a text. Okay, so the current price for a Bitcoin, okay, is And now we can just concatenate the number. Okay, so this is actually our string element. The current price for a Bitcoin is. Then we have made use of the JSON information. Okay, and in the next step, what we can do here is the following. I can actually concatenate it again with US dollars. And here I've provided this space by intention because it will just pause a little bit, okay, and it will just sound more natural if our let's say if our break or if our pause of the voice will actually be present here. Okay, so now before I can work with it, the last part, I need to cast this number here actually in a string. Okay, here str, because here we don't want to work with an integer or a float, but we need to cast it as a string. So afterwards we are able to concatenate this string element with this one and also with this one. Okay, this is actually the logic at this moment here. Okay, so this was actually the example for the Bitcoin, and we need to provide actually the same stuff for the other ones. So for Litecoin and for Solana, that means to make life simple, let's just copy this few lines here, paste it directly underneath. Now let's replace Bitcoin with Litecoin and also do our modifications here. So Litecoin is our keyword. Okay, and now in the next step, so this is the same, this is the same. The current price for a Litecoin is, and now we also need to replace this key here with Litecoin. Okay, USD will be the same, and this is actually it for this moment. Okay, so copy this one, paste it again directly underneath, and now we want to make use of the Solana coin. That means the keyword is here Solana. This remains the same. This too. The current price for a Solana coin is, and here the key should also be replaced with Solana. And now this should be actually fine. So let's see if this works. So first of all, I want to run this cell. Let's see. No error messages. This is actually fine. And now let's go ahead and actually run this one here. Okay. Okay, let's cross the fingers. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Hi, I am here to support you. Can you please tell me your name?
Alexander.
Hi Alexander, what can I do for you?
Can you tell me the price of the Bitcoin?
The current price for a Bitcoin is $60,771.
What is the price for the Litecoin?
The current price for a Litecoin is $194.4.
Can you tell me the price of Solana?
Excuse me, I did not get that. Can you please repeat it?
Can you tell me the price of Solana?
The current price for a Solana coin is $244.49.
Stop.
It was a pleasure to help you. I wish you a wonderful day.
Okay, so this was it. And you can see here, with my first attempt to get the price for the Solana coin actually failed because it recognized it as Solano, but we have provided the keyword Solana. This is why here we didn't get back the price. and then I tried to pronounce it a little bit more clear, okay, and then the system replied with the correct price. Okay, so this was actually the example how to use the cryptocurrency API, especially from Coingecko.com. And again, feel free to use any other coin here in this example. This should be actually quite straightforward. And if you have any kind of questions, please again, just let me know. Okay, and I would say I see you in the next section. Thank you very much. Stay tuned and see you. Hi everybody, welcome back to part number 4 of the voice assistant tutorial. So in the last section we have covered the cryptocurrencies, and now it's time to do something similar. We want to make sure we get the information about the stock market. Okay, so in this example we will pick 3 different stocks. So it will be Facebook, Tesla, and finally Apple. Okay, and here in this example we want to make use of the Yahoo Finance package. Okay, so here what we need to do is, again, let's go back to the command prompt or the CMD and write down pip install Y Finance. Okay, so Yahoo Finance. Let's go. And again, here I've already installed this on my device, but please go ahead and make sure that you have installed it here. And in the next step, what we need to do, we need to import the package here. So Y Finance, okay, for Yahoo Finance. And now let's run it. So this is actually the first step. And as always, we will start practicing here in the example and preparation section. Okay, and what we can actually start with is the following. So let's say we start with the Apple stock, okay, because we want to get information about the Apple stock or the Apple stock price. Let's say it's Apple equals to YF, and actually I can provide one alias here. So Y Finance as YF. Okay, so this is actually the abbreviation for this one. So scroll down again, and now YF dot. And here we have different opportunities we can choose from. And the important one is the ticker. Okay, because this is actually our starting point. So Yahoo Finance dot ticker. And now let's go ahead and take a look how this actually looks like. Here, Yahoo Finance. Let's click on this link. And now let me just search for Apple. Okay, and you will see here, this is all the information regarding the Apple stock. And this here is the ticker. Okay, this is actually what we are searching for. Now, you can just highlight it, right-click, copy, back to the notebook, and now we need to provide this information inside a string. Okay, so this is actually the format we need to work with. Okay, so Yahoo Finance dot ticker, and here we provide this ticker information. All right, so this is step number 1. And now the next step, let's print out, let's see, print Apple dot info. Okay, Apple dot info. Let's see what we get. Now it takes a little bit to load, and you see here we get a lot of different data. Okay, in this format here. Here again we have key and value pairs. Okay, target mean price, debt to equity, return on equity, and so on and so forth. What you can do here, if you want to, you can just copy this one. Now you can search for JSON formatter. Let's click on the first one, paste it here, click on process, and now you see here that this information looks actually much better than this one here. Okay, so you see here we have all this information just to show you how this can actually work. Okay, Now again, as I told you, we have a lot of keys and values here. But in this specific scenario, we just need to make sure we find the right key here. And it's the regular market price. So regular market price. And as you can see here, this is the key. Okay, and this is our value. It's 151.28. And this is exactly what we see here. Okay, so this is the logic. That means here in this example, we can make use of this key element. Okay, so let's go down, copy this one, regular market price, copy that, and paste it here. Okay, let's run this. It takes a little bit, and now you have here your data or your current stock price. Okay, this is it. And now to clarify this, let me just copy it, paste it here. We need to do the same for Facebook, right? And here the ticker for Facebook is FB. For example, here you see directly FB, and this is Tesla. Okay. So if we click here on FB, so the name was changed to Meta Platforms, but this is what we want to have, okay, for Facebook. That means here we need to modify the ticker. Now it's FB. And here I want to have the information about Facebook. So let's run this cell here. Okay, 341.13. This is it. And finally, we also need the same information about Tesla. Okay, Tesla, the ticker is this one. Okay, this one, TSLA. Copy that, paste it right now here. Okay, and now we want to get the Tesla information or the market price here. Paste it, and you see here 1222.09. This is exactly what we see here. Okay, so this is actually the logic. And now, in the next step, let's implement the logic in our assistant. Okay, directly underneath the cryptocurrency part. Now let's proceed with the stocks, and here we start with Apple. Okay, stocks, Apple. First of all, this is our comment. And now we need to provide a keyword. Let's say if Apple in text. That means we can just make life again a little bit simpler. Copy this part. Okay, copy this one and paste it directly underneath. Okay, here. Paste it here. And again, instead of print, we want to make use of the talk function. So Alina talk. And now we start with the string element here. That means what I want to get back as an answer is at this moment you can purchase one Apple share for. Okay, now we need to concatenate it with the with the actual price, but this one we need to cast inside a string element. Okay, so within a string. And now we also need to concatenate everything with the next string element, which will give us the information about the currency. Okay, and here we want to get the US dollars. Okay, so it's US dollars. Okay, I hope you got this point here. That means at this moment you can purchase one Apple share for, this is our first string element. Then we have our actual price, which is this one. This will be stored inside a string element. Okay, so we can concatenate it with the first string and with the last string, which is US dollars. Okay, this is it. And what we also can do is the following. We can just print out so one second. can just print out the regular market price here. Okay, so let me just go ahead. Let's see if this works. This should actually work because we have done this already. So copy that one. And here we want to print this out. This one. Okay, this is it, because here this is the same what we have done so far in this example. Okay, so now this should be fine. This was the example for Apple. Okay, and now we need to proceed with Facebook and with Tesla. So I will copy this few lines, go back here, paste it. Okay, and now let's do our modifications. Now I have, instead of Apple, I want to work with Facebook. That means I also need to change the keyword. That means if or elif Facebook in text, then we want to have Facebook equals to YF ticker, FB. And remember, we've taken a look already how this works inside the example and preparation section. That means this is right now familiar to us. Okay, and here I want to replace Apple with Facebook. Okay, this key element remains the same. And here we want to get back the response. At this moment you can purchase one Facebook share for facebook.info, okay, US dollars. This looks fine. Finally, copy this one again. So, and in the next line, so 1 second. Okay. Give me just 1 second. Here, I want to get to the next line actually. Okay. And now this should work. Here I want to have the Tesla stock information. Okay. Stocks Tesla. That means we have the keyword Tesla in here. Then we have the ticker TSLA. Okay. Exactly what we have here. Right. Afterwards, I want to have the Tesla info printed out. Okay, and at this moment you can purchase one Tesla share for, and here again replace Facebook with Tesla. And now this should actually work. So let's see if this works or if I have messed something up. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. So let's run this cell. Let's take a look. Okay, so here I have one error message, line 93. Let's see what it is. 93. elif Facebook and text. Let's see what went wrong here actually. Okay, so invalid syntax. I think I've forgotten one bracket here, the closing bracket, I think. So let's see. Yep, I guess it's this one. So let's close the bracket. Here too. And this one should also be closed. Let's see if this works actually. I guess this was the mistake or the error here. So let me run it. Scroll down. Okay, so now we don't have an error message anymore. And now we need to make use of these 3 keywords here. Okay, so cross the fingers and let's go.
Hi, I am here to support you. Can you please tell me your name?
Alex.
Hi Alex, what can I do for you?
Can you tell me the current Tesla price?
At this moment you can purchase one Tesla share for $1,222.09 US.
What about Apple?
At this moment you can purchase one Apple share for $151.28 US.
Okay, what about Facebook?
At this moment you can purchase one Facebook share for $341.13 US.
Stop.
It was a pleasure to help you. I wish you a wonderful day.
Okay guys, so as you have seen, here we had 341, and here I guess this is something different. So if I just type in Meta, because I think actually now the Facebook itself, it's called Meta Platforms or so, I'm not quite sure, but this is actually what we are actually searching for. Okay, here we have this ticker, okay, and 341.13 is actually what we see here. Okay, and this was actually the example how we can implement this whole stock logic in our voice assistant. Okay, so again, as always, if you have any kind of questions, please let me know. And in the next topic, or in the next section, we are going to cover the Wolfram Alpha API. It's actually quite powerful, very interesting, so I hope you're tuned, and I see you in the next one. Thank you very much. Hi everybody, welcome back to part number 5 of the voice assistant tutorial. Now it's time to work with Wolfram Alpha. So this is actually a very powerful website. Let me just show you what I mean by that. So here, let's search for Wolfram Alpha. You will see this interface here. And here, let's go ahead and, for example, ask the system, what is the capital of Germany? Let's see what we get back. Here, this is the result, Berlin. Okay, and let's say, for example, I want to search for the capital of Russia. Let's see, and this is also correct. Okay, so here actually you can ask a lot of stuff. For example, what is 1 plus 9? Let's see. So you can see here, you can actually search for a lot of different things. Okay, so this is actually very intelligent tool, and it recognizes your question, and based on that you get back your answer. Okay, so again, this is very powerful. A lot of different areas and topics are covered here, but we will use Wolfram Alpha to get back the capital of a country. Then we want to make use of the calculator, and we also want to ask who is the current president of a specific country. Okay, so this is what we want to use Wolfram Alpha in this example, or in this tutorial. And first of all, we need to go up and import the Wolfram Alpha package. But before you are able to do it, you need to install it on your command prompt or in the CMD. So let's go ahead and write down pip install Wolfram Alpha. Okay, make sure you have spelled it correctly, and I've already have installed it on my device. But once you're done, you can go back to your notebook and then do the import. So import Wolfram Alpha, run the cell, and now you should be good to go. Okay, so before we can actually use Wolfram Alpha, we need to make sure we get the key, okay, or the API. So here, for example, we have made use of the Coingecko API to get the information of the cryptocurrencies, right? And now we need to do the same with the Wolfram Alpha API. Okay, that means what we need to do now is the following. Go to Google and search for Wolfram Alpha API. Then click on the first link, products.wolframalpha.com, on this one. And here again, of course, we will just work with the free tier. That means click here on Get API Access. Okay, and now in the next step, you will be directed to this interface. Okay, if you don't have an account, you need to create an account. Okay, here you need to provide your credentials. Okay, for me, for example, I've already created one account. I will just log in, but again, I guess you haven't signed in here at this moment. Please take a few moments and create your own ID or your own account. Now I want to log in my account, and I will show you how to work with the API here. Okay, so once you're logged in, you will see this interface. Now in the next step, click on Get App ID here, and we need to provide the application name, the description. Let's say it's the Elena assistant. Copy this one, paste it here. Click on Get App ID. Okay, and now here you will see that now you have this key. Okay, and this is what you need just to copy. And then go back to your notebook. Okay, and here let's just write down Wolfram _ API. Okay, and here I need to provide this key. Okay, so this is it, at least for the first step. Okay, now in the next step, what we need to do is, let's scroll down. Oh, first I need to run the cell. Okay, now let's go down, and here in the example and preparation section, I can delete the stuff from the last video. And now we need to go ahead and make sure that we are able to get information through our notebook. Okay, so first of all, we need to provide or work with the client. So client equals to Wolfram alpha dot client. Okay, this is the first step. And here we need to provide our API. Okay, Wolfram API. This is step number 1. Then step number 2, let's provide one result variable. Result equals to client dot query. And here actually you need to provide your query, your text. Okay, so it was actually the stuff we can type in here. For example, again, what is the capital of Russia? This is the query itself. Okay, now let me just copy this one, copy that, go back, and instead of this text, let's just paste the actual query here. Okay, this is it. And now the next step, let's provide another variable, answer equals to, and here we need to work with the next iterator. So it's next, and here we provide result dot results. Okay, and then dot text. Now let's see what we get back if we print this answer here. So print answer. Let's see, I will run the cell here. Okay, now we have an error message, invalid app ID. Okay, so why is it invalid? So it's actually this key here. So let me just run the cell again and run this one. Let me just see what happens here. Okay, now this should actually work. Okay, so it takes a little bit. And now you see here, this is what we want to see. So Moscow, Russia. And on this website here, you see Moscow, Russia. So here we have the access to this data, but in our notebook. Okay, and this is what we actually want to have. Cool, but now this should be a little bit more, let's say, more interactive. We want to work with whole sentences. That means, again, what we can do here is let's split up this answer. So answer underscore split equals to answer dot split. Here we can use the split function. Okay, and now let's print out the answer split. Answer split. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so this takes, I know it takes a little bit, but I definitely want to include the Wolfram API to our project here. So not splits, but split. Sorry for that. My mistake. Now let's rerun this. And now we should get back a split answer. Let's see. Okay, so this is actually the initial answer, Moscow, Russia. This is a list of 2 elements, okay? Moscow and Russia. So what was actually my intention? Here, when we actually integrate this in a few moments in our voice assistant, we want to get back a whole sentence, okay? So that means what we can do here is, let's say, we want to get back the capital of, this is our first string element, plus here we want to get back the capital of Russia, okay? And this is why we can make use right now of this list here, okay? That means let's go ahead and provide answer split -1. That means answer split -1 will catch the last element of this list, which is in this example Russia, okay? All right, so the capital of Russia is, and now what we want to do is the following. So let's provide is, and now we want to make use of the other element of this list, which is Moscow, okay? So this is actually element number 0 because we start counting from 0. That means answer split 0, okay? So the intention here is we want to get back the capital of Russia is Moscow. Let's see if this works here. I just rerun this cell. Now it takes a few seconds. And now let's see if we get it. Okay, so this looks good. So you see here we have this whole sentence, okay, based on this simple result. So the capital of Russia is Moscow. And here actually I need to provide one space because this, so a space is required here. Okay, I just can add a space here and this should be fine. Okay, so what I want to do now is I will just copy this whole stuff here, copy that one, and then in the next step I can scroll all the way up, okay, here, and now I can create another function. So let's say the function's name is Wolfram _ alpha _ country _ capital, okay, and here a text is required, okay. So now what I want to do is I will just paste it here, make sure the indentation is correct. Okay, so here we have first of all the client, okay, then we have the result variable, but now we just can replace it with a simple text, okay, because the text will go here. This will be our query. Okay, this should look fine. Okay, then we can just delete this one. This should just be the example. Okay, delete this, and we also can delete this one here. So, and now instead of print, we can again use the Alina talk function. Okay, so now this should actually look fine. So before I run it right now, I guess it will make more sense to store this in a separate variable. So let me just provide it here. Say capital _ result equals to this stuff I've just copied, okay, and I will provide this variable here. Okay, Why did I do this? It's actually quite simple, because I want also to get this printed out. Okay, so it's capital result here, and we will get it, or get this printed, and we also want to insert it inside the Alina talk function. Okay, so this is actually a good starting point. Okay, now in the next step, what we need to do is we need to define our, let's say, our keyword. Okay, so we need to scroll down, and now in the next step, actually the function will again listen to us, and now we have to actually ask the query, and the logic looks like this. Our keyword will be capital and of. Okay, so we need to provide these two keywords in order to be able to receive the proper answer. Okay, so for example, what is the capital of Germany? What is the capital of Russia? What is the capital of England? And so on and so forth. So the word capital and the word of has to be inside our text or inside the query. Okay, so let's do this. First of all, again, I want to provide Wolfram alpha capital of a country. Okay, and here I need to use the aleph capital in text and of in text. Okay, and once we have the capital and the of keyword, we just simply can make use of the Wolfram alpha country capital function. Okay, and here again we need to provide the text. Okay, so this is actually the logic right now, and now we have to run this cell here. So click on run, and then in the next step, let's scroll down to the voice assistant execution section, or to this function here. Okay, and now let's cross the fingers. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Hi, I am here to support you. Can you please tell me your name?
Alex.
Hi Alex, what can I do for you?
What is the capital of Ireland?
The capital of Ireland is Dublin.
What is the capital of Russia?
The capital of Russia is Moscow.
Stop.
It was a pleasure to help you. I wish you a wonderful day.
Okay, so as you can see here, we get back our proper responses. I know this API call is a little bit slow, but again, I wanted to show you how you can work with the Wolfram Alpha API. So this was actually just step number 1. Okay, so we will get back the capital of a country. The next example is I want to use the calculator, and actually I want to write another function. Okay, because here if we choose to work with whole sentences, okay, and if I just put down what is 1 plus 1 or something, okay, the sentence structure won't make any sense anymore. Okay, I hope you understand this point. So here we just need to provide a few modifications, and then we can work with it. Okay, so this is actually it. And now let's go ahead and provide one simple example here. So I guess I can just delete this one. First of all, let's take a look at the raw data. So here, instead of what is the capital, let's just ask for, let's say 1 plus 1. Okay, very simple. Here again, inside this searching box, provide 1 plus 1, click on enter, and you see here the result is just 2. Okay, and this one, this input, we need to provide here. Okay, then we store the result inside this answer variable, and here we need to print out this answer stuff. Okay, let's go. So now I've clicked on run, and you see here that we get back this one here. Okay, that means this is redundant, can just delete it, and here we can provide one simple text. The answer is, and we want to concatenate it with this answer here. Okay, so the answer is 2. Okay, this is actually the logic of our next example. It's actually quite straightforward, and what I want to do is I want to copy this one, go back all the way up to the top, and directly underneath this Wolfram alpha first function, I want to start with the second one. So it's def Wolfram alpha, but now we want to use the calculator. Okay, calculator, here again we have a text. Okay, now I want to paste what I have copied. Okay, and here the query can be deleted. Instead, again, we need to provide the text. Okay, and now this should be fine. So this is the last one we need to delete, and instead of the print function, we want to use the Alina talk function. And don't forget to provide one comment here, capital of country, and here we have the calculator. This is it. Okay, so this is the Wolfram alpha calculator, and now again we have to define our keywords. All right, so let's scroll down. Here we had the last keyword of Wolfram alpha. Okay, that means here I need to provide another keywords. So let's say I want to have either a plus in a text, okay, or I have a minus in the text, or I have multiply in text, or I have multiplied. Okay, so these are two different words, multiply and multiplied in text, or I have divide in text, okay, or I have root in text, or root in text. Okay, and once the system recognizes one of the mentioned keywords, we want to call the Wolfram alpha calculator. Okay, and here again we need to provide the text. Okay, so this is again the logic of this one. So let's see if I have messed up something. So plus in text, or minus in text, multiply in text, multiplied in text, divide in text, or root in text. Okay, so let's go and let's run this cell. Okay, run this one, and here I also want this to be printed out. I just forgot it. So print answer, and here we also want to get the Alina talk function. So run the cell again, and now let's scroll all the way down until we reach the voice assistant execution section, and now we want to execute or make use of the execute assistant function. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, cross our fingers and let's go.
Hi, I am here to support you. Can you please tell me your name?
Alexander.
Hi Alexander, what can I do for you?
What is 5 plus 5?
The answer is 10.
What is 10 minus 5?
The answer is 5.
What is the root of 9?
The answer is 3.
Stop.
It was a pleasure to help you. I wish you a wonderful day.
Okay, so this was the example of the calculator using the Wolfram Alpha API. Okay, and our last example for the Wolfram API will be the question, who is the president of a certain country? Okay, so what we need to do now is, let's go back to our example and preparation section. And here we need to take a look what we want to modify. Okay, so first of all, as always, we need to take a look what makes most sense here. Let's take a look at the query. And the query here is, who is the current president of Russia? Okay, let's copy this question back to Wolfram Alpha, paste it here, run the cell. Let's see what we get back here. Vladimir Putin, this is correct. And this example or this result we also want to see here inside our notebook. Okay, so now let's print just the raw data. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Let's see what we get back. And this is actually what we want to see. Okay, and now we can modify actually what we have inside this print function. So let's say the president is plus answer. Okay, let's run this again. And now let's see what we have. So the president is Vladimir Putin from 7th May to 12th to present. Okay, so we can work with it. This is fine. So copy this one. Okay, now we need to scroll all the way up. Okay, because now again we need to create another function. Okay, but first and foremost, let's provide one simple comment here: president of a certain country. All right, so let's go ahead and write down Wolfram underscore alpha underscore president. Here we need to provide one text. Okay, and here I can just copy what I've paste what I've copied a few moments ago. Okay, so the client is this one. Wolfram API, again, we have provided it here, and now we can make use of it always. Then we have the result variable. Here we can just replace the query with the text. Okay, then we have the answer. This is correct. And now what we want to do is we want to replace print with Elena talk. Okay, and we also want to get back, or we want to print out the answer itself. Okay, so here we have the answer, here we want to print the answer, and here we want our voice assistant work with the whole sentence here. Okay, the president is, and then we work with the answer. Okay, this is it for now. So what I want to do now is I want to run this cell here. Let's see. So sorry, I forgot to mention that again. We of course have to work with the keywords here. Okay, And in the last one, I've forgotten to provide one comment. So it's Wolfram Alpha Calculator. Okay, this one, and here I need to provide another comment. Say Wolfram Alpha President. Okay, so now let's go ahead and provide the keywords. So here, for example, can provide if who in text, okay, and president in text. Then we want to go ahead and call the Wolfram Alpha President function. And here we also need to provide one text, okay? Here. Okay, so run this cell again. Let's take a look. We don't have error messages. This looks actually fine. Now let's go ahead and run this cell here. Let's work with the execute assistant function, okay? Let's go.
Hi, I am here to support you. Can you please tell me your name?
Alex.
Hi Alex, what can I do for you?
Who is the president of Russia?
The president is Vladimir Putin, from 07 May 2012 to present.
Who is the president of Brazil?
The president is Jair Bolsonaro, from 01 January 2019 to present.
Who is the president of Germany?
The president is Frank-Walter Steinmeier, from 19 March 2017 to present.
Stop.
It was a pleasure to help you. I wish you a wonderful day.
Okay, so as you can see here, we got back the proper answers. The only issue is here that at this moment the assistant is not able to convert 01 to, let's say, 1st January. Okay, it says 01 January. Actually, it's just reading what is actually here. Okay, this is the only issue at this moment. If you want, for example, to fix it, you can work with the date time module, but this will be part of a different lecture. I don't want to include it right now. For now, it was important to show you how to work with the Wolfram Alpha API. And in this section, we have taken a look how to ask 3 different questions. Okay, so who is the president of a certain country? What is the capital of a certain country? And how to make use of the calculator. Okay, so this was actually it for the Wolfram Alpha section. And in the next section, we will build our translator. Okay, so thank you very much and stay tuned for the next one. Bye bye. Hi everybody, welcome to part number 6 of the voice assistant tutorial. Now it's time to build and create our personal translator. So the requirement for this section is to build a translator which is able to translate from English to German. Okay, so actually you can use different kind of APIs here, but now we are going to use or make use of the translators package here. So as always, first of all, open your command prompt or your CMD and write down pip install translators. Okay, go ahead and do this. And again, here I've already installed this package, but once you've done that, you can go back here to your imports and import translators, let's say STS. Okay, so this is the abbreviation for translators. Let's run this cell. Okay, and now let's go ahead and search for pip install translators. And now let's just make a short take a look at the documentation here. Okay, so here it's pyp.org. Okay, now if you scroll down, I want you or I actually want to show you how this can work. So here, this was actually the import we've done a few moments ago. Okay, and now if you go down, you can see here what languages are actually supported. Okay, so for example, you see here English, this means I can use EN. Okay, Arabic, it's AR, and so on and so forth. But for this example, we want to translate from English to German. Okay, and here we have a lot of different supported languages here. Okay, this is just a short overview how this whole stuff can actually work. Okay, now let's go back to our notebook, and as always we want to scroll down to our example and preparation section to take a look how all this stuff here can actually work. Okay, so now what we need to do, let's say ts a dot, and now you can make use of different opportunities here. We want to use the Google Translator. Okay, or let's say we go for DeepL, maybe it's better. So let's go for DeepL. Let's take a look if this works. So first of all, we need to provide a text. Let's say I live in Hamburg and today I want to eat something. Okay, just this simple sentence, number one. Then we need to provide from language. The initial language is English. Okay, to underscore language, and the target language is German. That means DE. Again, here, for example, the supported languages, German is DE. Okay, that's it. So now let me just run this cell here. Okay, and now I have too many requests for URL. Okay, so something seems to be broken here. Not a big deal. Let's go ahead and use the Google Translator. So again, here we have different opportunities. Okay, and now I will then use the Google. Okay, so let's run this. Let's see if this works. Here we just have a warning. Never mind. And this is what we want to have. Okay, so for all of you guys who are able to speak German, you will see that this is the correct translation. For those of you who don't speak German, not a big deal. I just tell you that this is the correct translation. Okay, so that's it. And for example, let's say you want to translate it to to Spanish. Okay, so I guess the abbreviation is ES. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so this is also correct. All right, so this stuff works. This is actually good. And now maybe you can say, okay, this is quite easy. I just have this one line and now I'm good to go. Actually, it can work, or actually does work, as you see, but we want to have, let's say, an interactive voice assistant. And here, what I would recommend is the following. Here, once we have translated this sentence, okay, I also want to have a German pronunciation, because now, let's say if this input will be the same and I get back this sentence, which is correct, but with the English pronunciation, this will just sound horrible. Okay, this is what I want to tell you. So this is why now I want to create or build a separate Alina talk function But this time, this language here is not English, but German. That means every time I translate something from English to German, the German part should be pronounced with a German, let's say with the correct German pronunciation. Okay, let's say you want to translate something to Spanish. It's not a big deal to configure this function so that the Spanish pronunciation will be just how it actually should sound like, okay, and not by a German voice. This is what I want to tell you here. So first and foremost, then let's go ahead, copy this lines here, okay, Alina talk, and now I want to have Alina talk but with a German pronunciation, okay. This is it. So convert text to speech German, okay, and we will just make use of this function once we want to use the translator and translate something to German. Okay, this is it. And the only difference here, again, I just need to make use of this DE. This is actually it. And let's say again, you want to work with the Italian language, with the Hindi language, with the Spanish language, so on and so forth. Just make sure that this language is supported here, okay? And then you can go ahead and modify your language. All right. So now in the next step, I actually need to rename it. So this is Alina Talk DE, okay, for German. And this is, let's say, the default one, Alina Talk. Okay, this is step number 1. Now, in the next step, we have actually already provided this example here. What we need to do in the next step is I want to copy our example. Okay, copy this one, then go all the way up, and let's say here we want to create another function. Okay, let's say this is just the translator. Here we need to provide one text. Okay, and now in this example, because we just use the translator from English to German, I can make use of this Alina Talk DE function. Okay, again, remember, this is the German, and you will also hear a different voice, and actually you will see how the different voices are actually sounding. Okay, so let me just go ahead and paste our example here. Okay, so Alina Talk DE ts.google, and now in this example I don't want to have this hard-coded string element. I just go ahead with the text, then from language en to language de. Okay, so this is now, I guess this is almost finished, or it is actually finished, right? Now let's go ahead, and the final part here is to create the keyword. Okay, so let's do this. And in this example, let's just say elif translate, okay, translate in text. Let's say our English Alina should get back to us and answer, sure, what do you need to translate, or let's say, what do you need me to translate? Okay, this sounds better. Okay, this is number 1. Then here we have a simple while loop. Let's say while true, text underscore to translate. This is a new variable. Okay, text to translate equals to Alina listen. Okay, here she's asking us what do we want to translate, then we need to tell her something. She's listening with this function, and the text will be stored inside this variable here. Okay. Now, let's say if text to translate does not equal to turn off translator. Okay, so if I don't say turn off translator, I want to make use of the translator function. Okay, and here I have the text to translate. Okay, hope this makes sense, because this function here, the translator function, this is what we have created a few moments ago. Okay, and once this translator function is initiated, the initial text from English will be translated to German, and it will also be pronounced with the German pronunciation, and let's say with the German voice, to just say it a little bit simpler. Okay, but you will get this point. Okay, so text from language English to language German. This is fine. Let's go back again. Okay, and now in the next step, else, that means here, if text to translate does not equal to turn off translator, we will have the usual translation of a certain text. Else, that means if I say turn off translator, I want the translator to stop. Okay, and here again I will use the let's say the default English voice. Okay, the translator will be turned off. Okay, what else can I do for you? And then I also want to break out of this for loop, out of this while loop here. Okay, so while this is true, okay, I can go ahead and mention different sentences. Then I will receive my translation. Once I say turn off translator, it will break out of this while loop, and then I will then be back just in the current while loop. That means I can, for example, ask again for the capital of a certain country. I can ask for the Apple stock price and so on and so forth. But if I go ahead and say stop, okay, it will also break out of this while loop, and then the assistant will just say, okay, it was a pleasure to help you out, okay, and I see you in the next time or something. Okay, so this is actually the logic now. Again, once we initiate this translate or this translator function, we will get to this while loop, and I need to say turn off translator to break out of this while loop here. Okay, this is the logic behind it. Okay, so I guess I've talked a little bit, maybe too much, but I just want to make this point as clear as possible. Okay, now let me just run this cell. Let's see if I have an error message. Okay, I don't. This looks actually fine. Now let's go ahead and run our execution function. Okay, cross our fingers as always. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Hi, I am here to support you. Can you please tell me your name?
Alexander.
Hi Alexander, what can I do for you?
Can you translate something for me?
Sure. What do you need me to translate?
I live in Hamburg, Germany, and I want to go to the gym.
Ich wohne in Hamburg, Deutschland und möchte ins Fitnessstudio gehen.
Today I'm very thirsty and I want to drink coffee and tea.
Heute bin ich sehr durstig und möchte Kaffee und Tee trinken.
Turn off translator.
The translator will be turned off. What else can I do for you?
Can you tell me the stock price of Apple?
At this moment you can purchase one Apple share for $151.28.
Stop.
It was a pleasure to help you. I wish you a wonderful day.
Okay, so this was actually the demonstration and the example how we can use the translator. Okay, and I also hope you got this point when I told you it makes sense to work with a German voice if I want to read a German text. Okay, otherwise it would be just read with the English pronunciation, and it would just sound a little bit weird. Okay, so for example, again, if you translate something to Spanish, make sure you use the Spanish voice and the Spanish pronunciation. This is actually quite simple. You can make use, copy, or just copy paste this function here, okay, and replace DE with ES for Spanish or IT for Italian, and so on and so forth. Okay. Again, I hope this was not too confusing. If you have any kind of questions, please let me know. And I will see you in the next section where we want to make use of the Chuck Norris API and get just back Chuck Norris jokes. Okay. Again, thank you very much, and I see you in the next section. Hi everybody, and welcome to part number 7 of the voice assistant tutorial. Now it's time to make use of the Chuck Norris API, and the idea of this section is to get random jokes which are related to Chuck Norris. Okay, that means we need to find a Chuck Norris API. So let's make life simple. Go to google.com and type in Chuck Norris API. Okay, and now we just can go to the first link. It's api.chucknorris.io. Click on this one, and here you will see that we have this URL. Okay, click on this one, and you see here we have random jokes. Okay, that means here, for example, now we have this value starting with women who think. If I refresh this page, we will have a completely different joke. Okay, again, Chuck Norris puts his pants, blah blah blah, and now you have completely something different. So this is actually the idea of this random jokes, or the endpoint which ends with random. That means every time we make a request to this page here, we get back a different or a random joke. So this is actually the idea behind it. Let me just copy this URL, go back to our notebook, and here I want to make use again of the example and preparation section. That means let me just provide Chuck Norris _API. Here I want to provide this URL. Okay, this is step number 1, and afterwards what we can do now is we need to provide actually a request, okay, to this specific URL. That means let's go and provide one different variable. So let's say it's data equals to requests, or let's say Chuck Norris data. So CN is the abbreviation for Chuck Norris. Okay, so Chuck Norris, or CN _ data, equals to requests dot get, and now we want to have the Chuck Norris API. Chuck Norris API, this one. Okay, this is it. And in the next step, we want to get the JSON format. Okay, so CN _ JSON equals to CN data dot JSON. Okay, so now let's print the raw data. Let's see how this looks. So print CN JSON. Let's go ahead. And now you see here, we have all these keys and the values. Okay, the same what you see here. Here in this format, I know this is much better. You can better read it. And now what we need to do is we need to make use of this value here. Okay, so this is the value. So this is actually the key. And in this example, the name of the key is value. Okay, and the actual value is this one. So this is actually the joke. Okay, that means here we need to get access to this one here. Okay, that means now let me provide this value key here, run the cell, and now voila, now we have the joke. Let's run this again, and you will see now we have something different. This is actually the whole idea behind it. Okay, so this is actually it for this example. I guess this is quite straightforward. And what we can do now is we can copy this stuff here. Okay, scroll up until we find our translator, this one. Okay, let's go ahead and create a new function. Say this is just Chuck Norris. Okay, and here I can just paste everything I've copied a few moments ago. This is it. And now I can either I will leave it like it is here, or let's just make something different. I've actually copied it, and here I want to provide it directly underneath this Wolfram Alpha API key. Oh, sorry. This one is the Chuck Norris API. Okay. So paste it here, Chuck Norris API, and this is actually the Wolfram Alpha API key. Okay, this is the key and not the API itself. All right, so now can make use of the Chuck Norris API. We need to, yeah, we can just leave it like it is here. Okay, this is actually it. And what we also want to do now is the following. So here I want to use the joke variable. Okay, this is actually the joke, the final joke. First of all, I want to print this joke, and I want our assistant to read and to tell us the joke. Okay, so Alina talk, and here we want to make use of this joke variable. This is actually it. Okay, now let's go down, and now we need to provide one keyword. So Aleph Chuck Norris in text. Here we want to make use of the Chuck Norris function. Okay, this one, and this is what we have created here. Okay, this is actually it. This is now the whole logic. So let's see if we have an error message. Let's run the cell, scroll down, and this looks actually fine. Now let's go ahead and run this function here and execute it. So 1, 2, 3, let's go.
Hi, I am here to support you. Can you please tell me your name?
Alex.
Hi Alex, what can I do for you?
Chuck Norris.
Only Chuck Norris can make a Nerf battle turn deadly.
Tell me another Chuck Norris joke.
Chuck Norris has kidnapped Bin Laden.
Tell me the last Chuck Norris joke.
Chuck Norris's tears cure cancer. Too bad he has never cried, never ate * greater than.
Stop.
It was a pleasure to help you. I wish you a wonderful day.
Okay, so you can see here we had 3 different Chuck Norris jokes. Here, for example, this is an example of how it actually should not be. So this is actually not part of the joke. I think this is just bad documentation inside this joke arsenal, let's say it this way. We just can't work with it. And if the assistant is reading this one, of course she will say 8 asterisks and greater than, because she's just reading it. But actually for us, it's not so useful. Okay. All right. So this is actually it. I mean, if you find, let's say, a better API regarding to the Chuck Norris jokes, maybe you won't find something like this here. Okay, so this was actually everything for this section. If you have any kind of questions, as always, let me please know. And in the next one, we want to make use of the NewsAPI, okay, and print out the top 3 headlines. This will be actually part of the next section. For this one, thank you very much, and I see you in the next one. Hi and welcome to part number 8 of the voice assistant tutorial. Now we want to make use of the NewsAPI. That means we want to find a way in order to be able to print out the top 3 headlines of the current news. Okay, so here we can use or make use of different kind of APIs. In this tutorials, we will go ahead and work with the newsapi.org. Okay, so it's newsapi.org. Go to this page, and now I see that I'm already logged in. So let me just log out for a second. Okay, here once you get the first time to this page, you will see this interface here. Okay, and what you need to do now is click on login, and then if you don't have an account, click get one here. Okay, and it's actually quite straightforward. You need to register here. It's for free, and then you get back, or actually you will be redirected to your interface where you can copy your API key. For me, since I've already created an account, I will just go ahead and log in here. Here for me, this is my API key which I can use. So I will just copy it. Okay, go back to the notebook, and here again inside this preparation section, we will start trying to solve this this requirement. Okay, so let's say it's news_API_key. Okay, now let me store it inside this variable. Okay, this is actually step number 1. Afterwards, what we need to do is click on back to home, and now click on documentation. And now you actually have a lot to read if you want to, but for this tutorial we will just make use of the top headlines. Okay, so actually you have different kind of endpoints. You have here all the news, and you actually can make use of the top headlines. You can go ahead and check for the sources and so on and so forth. But now, for simplicity reasons, let's just make use of this top headlines. Okay, this is it. Now here, this is the example. All right, so here we have the top headlines in the US. You see here we have this endpoint, okay, this URL, and then we will get back this JSON file with all the necessary informations. Okay, so for example here we have title number 1, then we go down title number 2, and so on and so forth. And you also can see here who is the author of this title. But for now, I will just go ahead and copy this this URL. Okay, so Control C to copy it. Now let me just go back to the notebook and provide one new variable here. So it's news_URL, okay, equals to this link. And now you can see here inside this link, already the API key is provided. But what I want to do is I want to cut this out, okay, and then I want to concatenate it with this variable, because here in this variable I've already stored my API key, okay, as simple as that. So NewsAPI key, this is right now the second step, and in the next one we need to make a GET request. That means let's provide another variable. Let's say news equals to requests dot get. Okay, we want to make use of this. Make use of the news URL, not API key. News URL, this one. Okay, and we want to have the JSON file. Okay, this is it. Let's just run it. Okay, this is fine. And now let's print the news variable here. So let's see what we have. And now you can see here we have all this data. Okay, so this is a little bit overwhelming. This is too much. And now we need to specify, and we need actually to tell to the program what we are looking for. Okay. And now, as you can remember, we want to have the articles. Okay, so this is actually our first key. Okay, we want to have the information about all the articles. So go back here. Now, news, and let's provide this articles key here. Articles, and we can store it inside another variable. So articles equals to news, and with this articles key. Okay, and in the next step, let's print this out. So print articles, and this whole data we don't need to print out anymore. Okay, so this is why I've commented it out here. Okay, let me just run this cell. Okay, and this looks maybe a little bit more clean. Okay, at least you can see here right now who is the author of the first article, what is the title of the first article, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is it. What we also can do here right now is we can check how many articles we actually have. Okay, so now I want to print out the number of the articles. Okay, so length, make use of this length function. Let's print it out and run the cell. And you see here, all in all, we have 20 results. Okay, now I can comment this out again, and I want to get back the articles. Okay, because now we need to write a simple for loop. Okay, because we want to loop through all this data here. Okay, and actually the requirement is just to pick all titles. Okay, this is it. So title is actually a part of the articles. Okay, and the only thing what we need here is the title. So actually we don't want to have the author. What else do we have, for example? So let me just check. We don't want to have the description and so on and so forth. We don't want to have the link, just the title, and that's it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Here we can provide another variable, let's say news headlines. Okay, and the headlines here are the titles. First of all, we have this empty list. Okay, this is step number 1. Then let's choose an iteration variable, let's say for art in articles. What we want to do is with each and every iteration, we want to append something to this empty list here. That means news headlines dot append, okay, dot append art with the key title, with the key title. Okay, because now we want to get access to this title here. Okay, so this is actually the key, and this one is the value. Okay, so no, sorry, this one is the value until here. Okay, that's it. So again, empty list. Then we want to iterate through all the articles and append the titles inside this empty list here. Okay, this is right now the requirement. And finally, we want to get back or to print out the news headlines. All right, let's go. So here you can see that we have all the different titles. Okay, this is it right now. And in the next step, we don't want to have everything here. We just want to have the first 3 titles, okay, and not all of these elements here. That means, again, we need to write another simple for loop. Let's say for I in range 3, okay, for I in range 3, we want to print the first 3 headlines, okay. So news headlines, and here you need to provide your iteration variable. So let's go and run this cell, and now you see here that we have just 3 different titles or headlines, okay. This is this one, so number 1, then we have here number 2, and this one is number 3. All right, I hope this logic was straightforward. If you have any kind of questions, as always, please let me know. Okay, for now, I will just proceed, and I also can tell you that most of the work was actually done inside this example and preparation section. Okay, this is why I think that this separate section is very, very useful, because now I can see you how we can work with all the data. And now we need to do a few modifications in order to integrate everything here to our voice assistant. Okay, this is actually it. So for now, we need actually to continue, and we need to provide a new function. Okay, so let's do it. So let me just scroll up, and let's see where we have written about the Chuck Norris stuff. It's here, and directly underneath we can actually proceed and create a new function here. So it's get news. Okay, this is the name of the function, get news. And now I actually just need to go down and to copy a few things here. So let me just copy this one, go up again. Okay, here I can paste it. Make sure you intend everything properly. This NewsAPI key I want to have here. Okay, this should be separately. So NewsAPI key. Okay, paste it here. This is our NewsAPI key. Then I go back again. Okay, so where is it? Where is this stuff? It's here. Okay, so now we have our news URL. This is actually fine. Then we make our request to this URL, and we want to have it as a JSON file. This is also okay. Right, now this one can be just removed. Then we have the articles variable. Okay, here we make use of the articles key. This is fine. Okay, this one can be also deleted. It's not necessary for now. And now actually I can scroll again down and copy the stuff of the preparation section. Copy that one, scroll all the way up again. Okay, now paste it here. Make sure the indentation is correctly, especially when you work with loops. Okay, so here we have the news headlines. Now it's an empty string. Okay, then we have for art and articles, and with every iteration we want to append the titles inside this new headlines variable. Okay, or to this list. we can do it with this one. Here we can delete again this print statement. It's not necessary anymore. And finally, we want to make sure that we just get back the first 3 headlines. So this is why we need to copy this one, copy that. So go all the way up. And now can just paste it here. And this should be actually fine. Okay, so this is it. For now, I will leave the print statement like this, okay? And I also want to make sure that we integrate it to our voice command. And now I just need to check if I want to put it here or inside the keyword itself, okay? So, I guess I can just leave it like this in this case, okay? So let's say Alina talk. And here I want to have the exact same thing which is inside this print statement. Copy this one, paste it here. So our assistant will read. So first of all, we will have printed all the 3 headlines out, okay? And afterwards the assistant will read these headlines. So this is actually the logic. Now let's go back again and provide another keyword, okay? Here we have Aleph news in text, okay? In text, and once the system notices that we use the news keyword here, first of all, what we want to do is we want to get back a reply from the system, okay? And our Alina will tell us, all right, let me tell you the first 3 headlines. Okay, this is actually the first response. And then we want to make use of the get news function. Okay, this is it. This is right now the whole logic. And again, I've forgotten to provide comments in the last few videos, but let me just do it right now. So it's the translator. Here we have Chuck Norris jokes, and here we want to have the top 3 news headlines. Okay, this is it. Okay, so again, this is our keyword, and then we will actually make use of the get news function, okay, which is this one. Let's see if this works. So as always, first run this cell, go back, check if we have messed up something. No error messages, this looks fine. And now let's go ahead and execute our function. Let's go.
Hi, I am here to support you. Can you please tell me your name?
Alex.
Hi Alex, what can I do for you?
Can you tell me the news, please?
All right, let me tell you the first 3 headlines. Biden hails monumental step forward as Democrats pass infrastructure bill, The Guardian. Ohio State WR Garrett Wilson out against Nebraska with unspecified injury, ESPN. Fall back, Sunday. Where and when does daylight saving time end? Fox News.
Stop.
It was a pleasure to help you. I wish you a wonderful day.
Okay, so this went actually fine. This was the example how we are able to get the latest news. In this example, the top 3 headlines. And this is actually everything what I have for you regarding the NewsAPI. Okay, so again, thank you very, very much for your attention. And I see you in the next section where we want to make use of the Weather API. Thanks a lot, stay tuned, and I see you in the next one. Hi everybody and welcome to part number 9 of the voice assistant tutorial. Now it's time to create an interactive weather assistant. That means we want to ask for the weather information, then our assistant will ask us back what city we are searching for, okay? And then we need to provide the city we are interested in, and based off our answer we get back the weather information on this specific city, okay? So you see the point here is to make it a little bit more interactive. And again, here we also want to work with an weather API, okay? So here I've chosen the website weatherbit.io, okay? So open this website here. And once you see this interface, as always, click on create account, okay? Go ahead and do it. And here, for example, I've already done this, and this is, for example, my email address. This is my password. But if this is the first time you see this interface on this website, go ahead and register yourself. Again, as always, this is this is for free. For me, what I will do now is I will log in here, and once I'm logged in, you will see here this interface, okay? And again, the important thing here is the API key. This is actually number 1. Copy this API key. And you see here again, the plan is free. Okay, so everything in this course is, of course, for free. All right, so copy this API key back to our notebook. And as always, we start with the example and preparation section. That means we need to store our weather API key in a variable, okay? So this is the variable here. What is this? So remove it, and the last digit is number 5, right? Yep, it is. Okay, so this was actually the first step. Next, we need to take a look how this API actually works. Okay, so now we need to click on API documentation. Okay, then let's scroll down and click on this green button. Okay, so current weather API, click on this. Okay, and now you have all this documentation, but this is actually quite straightforward. We need to copy our base URL. Okay, so I guess a good example would be if I just copy this base URL here, paste it inside a new tab. So click on new tab, paste it here. Okay, and now we need to modify it a little bit. That means let's scroll down and take a look, for example, here on this example request and this example response, which is stored inside the JSON file. Okay, here what we need to do is we want to get the weather information of a specific city. Okay, so here we have the description. And what we want to do is the following: get observation by city name. Okay, this is here we have the parameters. Okay, and this is actually what we need. So the city. In this example, we also have the state or the country, but these are optional. These are not required. What we need to do is the city. That means here inside this example area, I will just copy this city part. Okay, so just this one, because we don't want it to have the country. Copy this, go back to our URL here, paste it here, and for example, you can go ahead and replace this city. So for me currently, I live in Hamburg. That means I can just write down Hamburg, and then let's take a look again how the example request looks like. Okay, so finally we have to provide our API key. Okay, that means this one, and this information about include minutely. Let's leave it behind. It's not necessary for right now. What we want to do is we want to copy this part. Okay, copy this. Now paste it directly after your city. And now here we need to provide actually our API key. Okay, this is it. So for now, yeah, so actually let's paste our API key. So I will show you how the JSON response looks like. Therefore, I go back to the notebook, and here, as you can remember, we have stored the API key inside this variable. I will just copy this one, go back, paste it here, and this should be actually our request, okay? So let's click on enter. And now here you see that I messed something up. Let's see what it actually is. So once again, let's see, actually I have done everything what is needed. Let's take a look what was actually messed up here. Okay, so now I got the mistake. Actually between current, okay, between current and city, we want to have a question mark, okay? This is the right symbol between those two words, okay? So change it, and now let's click on enter again. And now this is actually what we want to see, okay? Here you see we have all the data. This is our city name, okay, Hamburg. Then we have a lot of different information here. But what we want to have is the weather information. That means here we have the temperature. Okay, this is actually what we want. And we want to get the description. Okay, so at the moment we see scattered clouds and the temperature of 9.1 degrees. Okay, this is it. This is what we want to have. All right, so this is our endpoint, our URL. What I want to do now in the next step is actually the following. I can just copy everything here. Okay, so it's no need to highlight the API key here. Copy that. Why? Because here we have already stored the weather API key, and we can just concatenate it right now. So let's provide one new variable. It's weather URL. Paste it here, and then let's concatenate the weather API key. Okay, so this is how this actually should look like. Okay, that's it. Now in the next step we need to do our request. So let's say weather equals to requests dot get, and we want to make a get request to, maybe I can do it, make it a little bit bigger, maybe like this. Okay, and we want to make a request to this endpoint here. Okay, that means here I need to provide the weather URL. Okay, this is it for now. And the next step, okay, I need to also mention that we want to have it in a JSON file, and now this should be fine. Okay, next line, let's print out the weather. Okay, so the weather variable, which is actually the request to this endpoint, and hopefully we get back a JSON file. Let's see, or JSON format. Okay, and this is actually what we want to have. And you see here right now that this one, okay, is actually exact the same data we see at this page. Okay, this is just, yeah, this is visually better prepared. Okay, but for now, this is everything we need for this moment. All right, so next one. We want to get back separately the temperature, okay, and also the description. So for the temperature, what we can do is we can just provide a new variable here. So temperature equals to weather, okay, and now if we take a look here, we can see that we start with this data key. Okay, then we need to go ahead to 0 and then to the temp key. Okay, this is actually it, to this one. All right, so we need to navigate from data to 0 to temp. Okay, let's do it. That means here we have the data, then we have the data key, then we have number 0, and then we have the temp. Okay, and let's see if this works. Let's print it out. So print temperature. Okay, let's see. Let's run the cell. And now this is actually what we want to have. So maybe I can comment the last one out so we don't get back this JSON data. Let's run it, and you see here, this is actually the temperature we are searching for. Okay, this 9.1 is exactly this one. The other data point is the description. That means description equals to weather. And now we again start with the data key. Okay, so data. Then we have again number 0. Okay, and in this example now we need to navigate to the weather key and then to description. Okay, so one more step. That means here let's navigate to the weather and then to the description. Okay, so this should look fine. And now to make a double check, again, let's print out the description. Let's go ahead. And now you see here, these are the two information we are searching for. Okay, 9.1 degrees and scattered clouds. Okay, so this is actually the whole logic behind it. Now we need to do it somehow interactive. Okay, that means here in this example, what we need to modify is the following. So number one is we don't want to hard code this city, okay? Because again, the voice assistant should ask us what city we are interested in, okay? Then we need to tell into our microphone what city we are looking for, okay? This city will be converted from speech to text and then inserted to this area here, okay? That means I don't want to have this hard coded. Let's see, for now I can replace it. Okay, then we have a string, or let's say we actually separate it. So we have this part of the URL. Then we want to create another variable. Let's say weather input, and in this example it will be then Hamburg. Okay. And now what I want to do is I want to concatenate it. So it's weather input plus this one. Okay, so this is just replaced with a variable, okay, which is this one. This is it for now. This should actually look fine. Okay, so next step, we also want to have the weather result. Weather result is when the voice assistant talks to us. Okay, so let's say the temperature in, then we have our weather input. In this example it's Hamburg, but we also want to work with different cities. Okay, so the temperature in weather input, which is this one. Then we have another string, is, and then we want to have this one here, okay, this temperature variable, and we need to cast it inside a string. This is very important because we just can concatenate strings with each other. That means here we have the temperature, okay. Then we want our assistant to tell us, so the temperature in Hamburg is 9.1 degrees, okay, and you can see, and here in this example we want to work with scattered clouds, okay, or with this description variable. That means here what we need to do is we need to concatenate it plus description. Okay, this is it. This is what we want to have. Okay, so the logic looks like this. The temperature in Hamburg is 9.1 degrees, and you can see scattered clouds. Let's see if this works. That means let's print out the weather result. Weather result print this out and let's go. Let's see. Okay, this looks fine. Here I can add a space. And now we have light rain. A few seconds ago it was scattered clouds. Let's see if this changed here too. So let's just update it. Okay, and now we see here that in Hamburg we have 9 degrees and light rain. So you see here exactly in this moment when I record this video, this weather information changed actually in real time. Okay, let's run the cell again. And this is the way we want to have the result back. Okay, so the temperature in Hamburg is 9 degrees and you can see light rain. All right, I hope you got this point here. This is very important right now. And actually we can use all this stuff to make this interactive with our assistant. Okay, so for now what I will do here is the following. So I will just copy everything here, scroll all the way up until this get news. Okay, and now we can create a different method and actually provide all the information we have just copied from underneath here. Let's choose one name for this function, get weather. Okay, now let's paste everything here. Make sure you indent everything properly. Okay, and for now I don't want to have the key inside this function, so I can just cut this out and put it directly here. Okay, so weather API key, let's paste it here. This is fine. Now let's go back to get weather. Okay, and let's say once we start to call this function, okay, first of all we want our assistant to talk to us. Okay, so she should say, no problem, I will look it up for you. Okay, what city are you interested in? Okay, this is actually the main question. Now in the next step, we don't want to hard code it, as I told you. What we want to do is the following. We want to replace it with our listen function. Okay, because now the assistant should listen to our voice and this will be captured to this variable here. Okay, so if we say, for example, London, it will be stored here. Okay, or Hamburg, Munich, whatever. Okay, so this is right now in the next step. Okay, and if we want to, we can just print out the weather input, so we can double check if she got if she got what we said. Okay, this is it. And in the next step, when we work with the weather URL, what we need to do here is actually we can leave everything as it is. Okay, so we can leave this line here. We also can leave this line. Okay, this is fine. So temperature, so this can be removed, we don't need it. Then temperature is fine, description is fine. Both print statements here can also be deleted. This should be just example scenarios. Then we have the weather result, which is important. And here, yeah, we also can print this out if you want to. Okay, this is it. If you don't want to, you can also remove this line here. Okay, so now this looks actually fine. Now let's choose our keyword in this example, and the keyword should just be weather. Okay, here directly after the news. Okay, weather, that means elif weather in text. We want to call the weather function. Okay, this is it right now. Okay, so I would say let's run the cell. This one here. Scroll down, see if we have error messages. Okay, this looks good. No error messages. Okay, so now I've noticed I have forgotten one small thing here. So let's scroll up to the weather function. And here, actually, I don't want just to get the result printed out. Okay, actually, the assistant should reply back to us. Okay, so I forgot to mention it here. So let's do it quickly. So we have the weather result. Okay, this is it. So once we get this in text form, we also get back the voice reply. Okay, this is it. I just forgot it a few moments ago. Now this should actually work right now. So run the cell again, go back, scroll down, and now let's run this one. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Hi, I am here to support you. Can you please tell me your name?
Alex.
Hi Alex, what can I do for you?
I need weather information.
No problem. I will look it up for you. What city are you interested in?
Hamburg.
The temperature in Hamburg is 9 degrees and you can see light rain.
I need weather information.
No problem. I will look it up for you. What city are you interested in?
London.
The temperature in London is 12.6 degrees and you can see scattered clouds.
Stop.
It was a pleasure to help you. I wish you a wonderful day.
Okay, so as you can see here, this is how this can be designed. Okay, this was a little bit interactive. And if you have any kind of question, as always, let me know. Okay, this is it for now regarding the weather information with our voice assistant. And in the next section, we are going to ask our assistant the distance between two different cities. Okay, so this is part of the next section. For now, I will leave it like this. Thank you very much and stay tuned, and I see you in the next one. Hi everybody, welcome back to part number 10 of the voice assistant tutorial. Now it's time to ask our assistant for the distance between two cities. Okay, and then we want to get back the proper answer. So for now, what we want to do is we want to work with the website Mapquest. Okay, just go ahead and type it in to Google, mapquest.com. Okay, and you will see that the website itself looks something like this. Okay, so this is looks a little bit like Google Maps. Okay, and what we want to do now is we need to get the API key of the website. Okay, and then the same procedure as in the last videos. Okay, so for now, what I want to do is let's go ahead and type in Mapquest API. Okay, click on enter, then make sure you go to this website, developer.mapquest.com. Okay, this is what we need to do now. So let me just sign out. Okay, so you will see this interface here. Okay, and what you need to do now is, as always, sign up to this website. Again, this is free. You see it here. This is 100% free. And once you've done that, so for now I've already signed up, right? So let me just log in here, and then I will show you how to get access to our key and how this whole procedure actually looks like. Okay, so once you're logged in, you will see that you have access to this interface, and here you can manage your keys. Okay, now I will just copy the first key here. I will copy it back to our example and preparation section, and now I want to provide this key here. So let's say a new variable, distance API key. Okay, I will store it in this variable, and this is the proper key we've just copied. Okay, this is actually step number 1. Then step number 2 is we need to click on documentation, scroll down a little bit until you see the directions API. Okay, click on this, and now you need to click on get. Okay, click on this one. And here is actually everything what we need. So again, if you want to, if you have time, you can read through all the documentation here. Okay, here we have even more to read, but now this is actually not required. What we need to do is we need to take a look at the example request. Okay, so let's just copy this one, copy this whole example request, and let's paste it into another tab here. Okay, paste it here. And now what we can do is the following. We can actually replace, so you see here we have two cities, from and to. Okay, and here we can do actually our proper request or our own request. So from, I will just delete this city here. Okay, let's say I want to go from Hamburg to Berlin. So here in this example, you can just remove everything here to Berlin. Okay, and here I need to paste actually my own key, my API key, which is, for my example, this one. So let me just copy it here, paste it directly here. Okay, and now I can run this one. Let's see. Okay, this looks good. Here we have our information regarding the distance between these two cities. And now you see here, this is the main information we need. Okay, but now you see here, this is actually the miles. Okay, it's not kilometers, it's miles. Let me check and let me show you. So here, for example, you have different parameters which you can use. Okay, so for example here, the API key is required, the first location is required, the destination is required, and so on and so forth. We have a few parameters which are not required. And here we have the advanced parameters. You see here, we have, for example, the specification of the unit, okay? Whether it's miles or if it is in kilometers. And you see here, the default is miles. And you see here, if we do nothing, okay, we just get back miles, but now we want to work with kilometers. That means we need to modify this URL a little bit. What we have to do now is go for the and sign, okay, and unit equals to k. Okay, this is it. So before I run it, take a look here. We have 179 miles. Let me run this one. And now you see that now the distance changed. We have right now 289 kilometers. Okay. And if you want to make a double check, go for example to Google and type in distance Hamburg Berlin. And you see here we have 289 kilometers. Okay, which is exactly this, what we see here, or almost exactly. Okay, because this is actually not Google Maps, this is Mapquest API. And this is why we have a small difference in the numbers. Okay, but this is actually our endpoint, our URL we can work with. And this is actually, what we can use. So let's copy this one, go back to our voice assistant. And we can now in the next step, paste it inside a different variable. Let's say it's dist underscore URL. Okay, here I want to paste it. And now again, I want to do a few separations here. So first of all, let me do it a little bit bigger, the screen. So here, I don't want to hard code the key. Okay, I will just delete it. So let me just delete it. Okay, and we want actually to concatenate it with the distance API key. Distance API key plus. Okay, so and as you can remember, we have stored the API key inside this variable here. Okay, this is it. This is step number one. Then in the next step, we also actually don't want to have the two cities hard coded, so the first city and the destination city. But for this example, it's not a big deal. Okay, this is okay, fine right now. what I want to do in the next step is actually the following. Now we need to do our request. Okay, that means, let's say it's a dist request, or let's say make it this way: dist request equals to requests.get. Okay, and here we need to provide the URL. It's this one, distance URL, or in our example it's just a dist URL. Okay, and this one we of course want to have as a JSON format. That means .json. This is actually it. And in the next step, what we can do is we can print this out. That means print dist request. Let's see if this works. And now we have an error message. Dist URLs not defined. Okay, so here I have one S which is not necessary. Let's run this again. And now you can see here we have all the information, all this data, which we also see here. Okay, so this is it. Again, this is very, very bad for reading, but we know what we are looking for. Okay, and our orientation point, when we traverse down, we can actually start here. Okay, or use this format to make life a little bit simpler. Okay, so that's it for now. Now let's create another variable here. Distance equals to this request. Okay, and now we need to work with the keys. So for example here, the first key is route, and then we have the distance. Correct? This is what we need. So that means we have first of all the route key, and then we have the distance. This is actually it. And now I can just print it out. That means print the distance. And this one should be commented out because now we don't need this whole data anymore here. Let's run the cell. And you see here, this is the data we need. Okay, 289. And this is actually here. Okay, this is the proper data we are searching for. And what we can do now is we can round this number, because here after this dot or after the comma we have 4 digits, and let's say I want just to work with 2 digits. We can do it by using the round function. Okay, so round, and here I need to put in a comma and a 2 because I want to have 2 digits after the comma. Now let's run this again, and this is what I want to have. Okay, this looks better. All right, so now in the next step, actually we are actually done right now. What I want to do is the following. Before copying everything and modify it in our, let's say in our coding part, I want to start modifying it here. Okay, so as I told you, we don't want to hard code the API key. This should be separately stored inside this variable. And I also don't want to have the 2 cities hard coded in our string. Okay, that means we have for the first city, let's say it's location _1. Okay, this is location 1. Say it's in our example, it's Hamburg. And then we have location _2. And this is Berlin. Okay, so for now we will write these values, but once we have put it in our coding section and integrate it with our assistant, we won't write it like this, because the assistant will ask us for the 2 cities and we need to mention where we start and where the destination city is. Okay, all right, so here let me just replace Hamburg. Okay, so plus location 1. Okay, and here I also can remove Berlin and replace it with location 2 plus location 2. Okay, And this is actually how it should look like. All right, so this is actually it. This should look fine right now. And now let's go ahead and create another variable, and let's see what the assistant should reply back to us once every information is actually available. Okay, let's say distance underscore result equals, so the distance between, now we have location 1 and location 2 is, then we have this one, the distance. Okay, we need to cast it inside a string, so distance, right? And then the final part is provide kilometers. Okay, so the idea here is that we get back the response. The distance between location 1 and location 2 is distance kilometers. Let's see if we get it. That means we need to make use again of the print function. Okay, distance result. Okay, and now let's run the cell. Let's see. Okay, this looks good. And here I also want to provide one new empty space. Hamburg and Berlin, again one more space here, because now this doesn't look good. Let's run it. Okay, this looks good right now. So you see here the distance between Hamburg and Berlin is 289,32 kilometers. And now you see here we didn't hard code the API key inside this this URL, and we also didn't hard code location 1 and not location 2. That means now if I change, for example, from Hamburg to, let's say, Munich, let's see what we get. Okay, so the distance between Hamburg and Munich, and you see here this is a completely different number right now. Okay, this is what I wanted to achieve together with you guys. Okay, so now this looks actually fine. What we have to do in the next step is the following. As always, we need to copy these lines here. Let's copy it. Go ahead and create our next function. So here, get weather. This was the last one, right? And now we want to have the distance info. So distance info is the name of our next function. Okay. This is it. Let's paste what we have copied. Make sure you intend everything properly. And as always, I want to cut the API key out and provide it here. Okay, so this is distance API key. And here it's not keys, it's just key. Okay, and paste it here. Okay, this looks actually fine. Now let me go down. So it was here. Okay. All right. So once we call this function here, again, let's make it a little bit more interactive. That means the assistant should ask us something. Let's say, sure, let me know the starting point. Okay, so this is actually the question about location number 1. Then here we have location 1. And now it's not hard-coded like it is here, but we want to make use of the listen function. Okay, so Alina listen. And then what we want to do is we want to work with the time module, okay, because then we want to wait for 1 second, and afterwards she should ask us about the location number 2. Okay, but for now, let's go ahead and import time. Okay, import time, run the cell. So let's scroll down again. Here we have location 1, and the system is listening to us. Then we want to wait for 1 second. That means time.sleep for 1 second. Okay. Afterwards, we can copy this line here, because now the system is asking us what is our destination city or our location number 2. Okay, so all right, and now tell me the final destination. Okay, this is it. And now again, we want to make use of our listen function here, because now we don't want to hard code it. So it's Alina listen. Okay, so in this variable should be stored our first city, and here the second city should be stored based on that what we tell to our system. Okay, this is it. Now next time, or in the next step, when we have provided our location number 2, again we want our system to talk back to us. Okay, let's say give me 1 moment, I will use my smart brain to calculate the distance, okay, for you. Alright, so this should be fine right now. Next we have our distance URL. This is okay. Then we have the proper request, want to get back the JSON file. This is also okay. This one can be removed. Okay. Then we have the distance in kilometers. Okay. This is fine. Afterwards, we can also cut this off or remove it, because now we need the distance result. Okay, this is it. And once this result is printed out, we also, of course, want our system to talk back to us. Okay, so distance result. Okay, so these are the information we need to provide. And now let's go ahead and let's see if everything works properly. But first, of course, we need to set up our keyword here. Let's go ahead and do this directly after the weather keyword. Okay, that means elif distance in text. We want to make use of the distance info function here, distance info. Okay, so for now, let's cross our fingers, run this cell first. Okay, go down. Let's see, no error messages. And now let's go.
Hi, I am here to support you. Can you please tell me your name?
Alexander.
Hi Alexander, what can I do for you?
Can you tell me the distance between 2 cities?
Sure. Let me know the starting point.
Hamburg.
All right, and now tell me the final destination.
Berlin.
Give me 1 moment, I will use my smart brain to calculate the distance for you. The distance between Hamburg and Berlin is 289.32 kilometers.
Can you tell me the distance?
Sure. Let me know the starting point.
London.
All right, and now tell me the final destination.
Liverpool.
Give me 1 moment, I will use my smart brain to calculate the distance for you. The distance between London and Liverpool is 339.05 kilometers.
Stop.
It was a pleasure to help you. I wish you a wonderful day.
Okay, so as you can see, we have received back 2 different examples. Okay, so the distance between Hamburg and Berlin, and then between London and Liverpool. And this was actually it for this section here. Again, thank you very much for your attention. If you have any kind of questions, please let me know. And in the next section, we are going to use the Wikipedia module. Okay, so thank you very much. Stay tuned and I see you in the next one. Hi and welcome to part number 11 of the voice assistant tutorial. Now we want to make use of the Wikipedia module. And as always, what we have to do here, we need to go to our command prompt, to the CMD, and type in pip install Wikipedia. Okay, and you will see that I've already installed it on my device. But once it's installed on your computer, you can go back to the notebook, okay, and just import Wikipedia. Okay, run the cell, and that's it. Now let's go down to our example and preparation section. So this is actually from the last video. And now what we can do is the following. Let's create one variable. Let's say wiki result. Okay, and here we can provide Wikipedia. Okay, and now we need to actually mention different arguments. In this example, I want to mention two different arguments. Let's say I want to search for Donald Trump. Okay, just as an example, Donald Trump, and here I can specify the amount of sentences. Okay, so sentences. Actually, one second, I forgot to mention something. It's Wikipedia dot summary. So here you have a lot of different opportunities what you can use. Okay, but we want to go for the summary. Okay, so this is actually our query, and here the sentences, we want just to have one sentence. Okay, this should be actually quite straightforward. And now I want to print the result. That means print wiki result. Let's see what we get. And this is actually the reply from Wikipedia. Okay, so you see here we have right now just worked with these two lines, and we get back the Wikipedia response. For example, let's say you want to have, instead of one sentence, you want to have two sentences. Just in case, you see here, you get a little bit more text, and so on and so forth. Okay, so but for now I just want to keep it short. Let's use one sentence, and this is actually it. Okay, so for now, again, we want to make it a little bit more interactive. That means now I can go ahead, copy this stuff here, copy this, scroll all the way up here, and after the distance can create one new variable, def wiki, one new function. Okay, and here I will just copy this one. And as in the last example, I also want to make it more interactive. That means once we call this Wikipedia function, our assistant should talk to us. Okay, so let's say, I'm happy to help. Let me know what I should search for you on Wikipedia. Okay, so this is what she will ask us, or what the assistant will actually ask us. And afterwards, what we want to have is the following. So let's say wiki listen. Okay, and this is the variable where our voice will be stored. Okay, so the system will listen to us, capture it inside this variable here. Okay, and this is actually the query of this one. Okay, so instead of hard coding something, we want to make this query dynamic. Okay, so what we have said will be captured inside this variable here, and then we will put it here. That's it. And then we can print this result out, and also we want our assistant to tell us the result in her voice. Okay, so let's do it. So wiki result. That's it. These few lines are actually enough for this moment. Now let's go down and provide the keyword. So here I've forgotten to mention the comment. Here too, so Wikipedia, and then elif, the keyword is Wikipedia. Okay, in text we want to make use of the Wikipedia function. That's it. This should be actually it. And let's see if this works. So scroll up, run the cell here, go all the way down, check for error messages. We don't see anything. This is good. And now let's go ahead and execute this function here. Okay, let's go.
Hi, I am here to support you. Can you please tell me your name?
Alexander.
Hi Alexander, what can I do for you?
Can you look up something for me on Wikipedia?
I am happy to help. Let me know what I should search for you on Wikipedia.
Donald Trump. Okay, now we have an error message. Okay, so now I got the point. Function object has no attribute summary, and now I actually figured out what went wrong here. So here, as you can see, I've named the function exact same way like the package itself. Okay, so here we have imported Wikipedia. That means the name convention should be definitely different. Here, let me just modify it. Let's say it's Wikipedia _info. Okay, because the name can't be exactly the same as we have seen here. Okay, so Wikipedia _info, and we also can actually modify it here when we have our keyword. So it's Wikipedia _info. Okay, this is the modification which is required. Now let's run the cell again, and then let's scroll down. Let's see if now this whole thing works.
Hi, I am here to support you. Can you please tell me your name?
Alex.
Hi Alex, what can I do for you?
Can you look something up on Wikipedia?
I am happy to help. Let me know what I should search for you on Wikipedia.
Donald Trump.
Donald John Trump, born June 14, 1946, is an American politician, media personality, and businessman who served as the 45th President of the United States from 2017 to 2021.
Thank you. I need another information of Wikipedia.
I am happy to help. Let me know what I should search for you on Wikipedia.
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, Spanish for the Meadows, often known simply as Vegas, is the 26th most populous city in the United States, the most populous city in the state of Nevada, and the county seat of Clark County.
Stop.
It was a pleasure to help you. I wish you a wonderful day.
Okay, so this was the example for the Wikipedia module. Okay, if you have any kind of questions, yeah, as always, let me know. And in the next section, we will cover the date-time module. Okay, this is it for now. I hope this was helpful for you, and I see you in the next one. Hi everybody, and welcome to part number 12 of the voice assistant tutorial. Now we want to work with the daytime module, and especially we want to ask our assistant what weekday today is and what time is it. Okay, so these two requirements are included in the date-time module. That means, first and foremost, let's scroll up and import the date-time module here. So import date time, this is number one. Okay, and now we can make use of it. And let's start again in our example and preparation section here. So we will start with the weekday, because this is a little bit simpler. Let's say weekday underscore today equals to date time dot date time now. So datetime dot datetime dot now. Okay. And then let me just show you in the documentation. Let's search for datetime module. Okay. And this link here is actually quite useful. Okay, from w3schools.com. And if you scroll down, for example, you see here this example: return the year and name of the weekday. And what we can do now is the following. We have started with datetime.datetime.now, and now actually we need to modify it or to add this statement. Okay, .strf time, and then we have this %sign and capital A. Let's copy this one and paste it here. Okay, this is it. And if you scroll down, you have all the different examples. Okay, so for example here, this is what we are working with right now. And the example is this one. Let's try it out here. This is very interactive. This is why I like it so much. Okay, and we will just work with this logic here, and finally we will receive the the weekday of today. Okay, this is it. So let's just print this one out. So print weekday today. Let's see what we get. Okay, and today is Sunday, and this is correct. Okay, so this was actually it for the weekday example. This was, I would say, quite straightforward. And now we also want our assistant to tell us the current time. That means here we need also to write a few lines. First of all, let's choose the variable here, today underscore date equals to datetime dot datetime dot now. Okay. And then we want to set up the hour. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the documentation, how this can be set up. So you see here, we have two different hour formats. Okay, so this is the 12-hour format. This is the 24-hour format. We want to use the 12-hour format. And now let's click on try it. And you see here that this is actually the essential step here. We have datetime.datetime.now. Actually exactly what we have done here. Okay. And then the only addition is that now we need to provide .strf time with this convention here, okay, with this %sign and capital I. All right, so let me just copy this one, copy this, go back here, and now let's provide today date, so it's this variable, and paste what we have just copied. That's it. Next one is the minute. Okay, minute. Let's see how this can be achieved. So the minute we find actually here. Okay, this is the minute. Let's go to try it. And you see here that the logic is actually exactly the same, with the only difference that now we have this capital M. Okay, that means we can make life simple. Copy this this expression here, paste it here, and replace capital I with capital M. Okay, this is it. And finally, we also need to provide the meridian. That means we want to distinguish between AM and PM. That's it. So let's take a look how to get that. It's actually here in this row. Okay, let's go to try it. And you see here that again, logic remains the same, with the difference that now we have this lowercase p. Okay, that means again, I can just copy this expression, paste it here, and replace capital M with a small p. Okay, so that's it. In the next step, let's choose a different variable. And now we want to say, okay, it is plus, then we want here to concatenate the hour. Okay, and then we have a colon. Afterwards, the minute. Okay, and the meridian. Let's see if this works. Let's print this out. Print time now. Okay, let's run this. And this is actually correct. But I want to have a space between 12:04 and PM. Okay, this can be achieved quite simple. Let's just add an empty string here. Okay, and run the cell again. Okay, I guess I have to put a space here. Okay, now this looks actually fine. So here we have the current time. Here we have the current weekday. This looks good. So now let's just copy these lines, scroll up and provide another function here. Okay, here let's go ahead and say time underscore now. Here we can paste what we've just copied. Okay, and the only difference here is that we want to add Alina talk because we want our assistant to tell us the current time. Okay, time now. This is step number 1. And step number 2 is weekday underscore now. Okay, this is the second. This is actually the second function. Let's scroll down and copy this one here. Okay, copy that. Scroll up again. And now let's paste it here. Okay, finally also let's make our assistant tell us the current weekday. Okay, so weekday today. All right, so this looks actually fine for now. Let's see if this works. Let's run the cell, go back or scroll down, and now let's execute this function here. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Hi, I am here to support you. Can you please tell me your name?
Alex.
Hi Alex, what can I do for you?
What time is it?
It is 12:07 p.m.
Thank you. Can you also tell me the current weekday?
Sunday.
Stop.
It was a pleasure to help you. I wish you a wonderful day.
Okay, so this was it. Here we've taken a look how to work with the current time and also with the weekday. Okay, and this was a short example how to make use of the datetime module and integrate everything to our voice assistant. As always, if you have any kind of questions, please refer to me. And I would say this is actually everything I had for this tutorial. Yeah, so if you wish some kind, let's say you want to have an addition, you want to see something else, something different, I'm open for new ideas. Just get back to me, message me, and we'll find a way. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you, and I wish you all the best for your future projects. Thank you very much. My name is Alex, and I wish you all the best.